thank you for those loving tributes. I just wanted to know there's no GPS in Britain? No GPS at all? I don't know. Anyway, okay. And Carol, I want to teach you a word. It's tzaddik, our equivalent to a saint. Tzaddik. Okay. And speaking of that, I want to invite Gladys up with her grandchildren, Stephanie and Josh, and Molly and Sam.
My Aunt Becca was one of the coolest people that I ever met. She made everything more fun. When I was younger, I always wanted to be around her, and some of my favorite memories are of Becca and my family around our table with her telling stories and laughing. I always wanted that seat next to Becca, but it was a tough one because that's where everybody else always wanted to be. As everybody said, she could relate to anyone. She was the only person I've ever met who was truly liked by everyone she ever met. I've never heard anyone ever say anything bad about Becca, and I never heard her say anything bad about anyone else. I always wanted to be just like Becca because she was the consummate storyteller. She lived her life, and she loved her life. I never met anyone like her, and I'm just glad that she was a part of my life. Thank you.
Becca was always the fun, silly, relatable aunt. A lot of people who didn't know her may have assumed that she was so relatable because she was so young, but that really wasn't the case. She could relate to anyone. Her wit and intelligence were unparalleled and would affect everyone equally and profoundly. Becca was often our travel companion. We would joke that she was freeloading, as many other people have pointed out. A joke that she loved and took part in. I remember she said that staying at the Ritz-Carlton in Barcelona a couple years ago didn't even make it on her coveted top 5 freeload list. Naturally, the next summer, we all rented a private villa in Italy in hopes of making the list. I think we succeeded. Despite our jokes, the truth was that Becca was a valuable asset to our traveling team. She not only seemed to know her way around, but always seemed to know the hidden treasures in every city. She also seemed to be at least a little conversational in every language. This should have surprised me as we went from one country to the next, but the truth is, she was so intelligent that nothing really surprised me. And yet she was never condescending or intimidating in her intelligence. She knew she was smart. How could she not? But she always made an effort to not come across as a know-it-all. One time, she told me that one of her keys to success was just that. She would even joke about her intelligence. I remember watching her first Cancer Diva video with her. At one point, she uses the word hypochondriacal. As we were watching, she turned to me and said, "Your aunt is pretty smart. I know a lot of big words." It's her wit and her silliness that I will miss the most. As her Facebook profile displays, acting silly was one of her interests. We would often send each other short emails or Facebook messages. One time, when my grandmother was in London for one of Becca's treatments, I asked her if she and Gladys were going to raves. Becca's response, "Don't be ridiculous. You know Gladys listens to trance music." Another time, she was sending me an email about her weekend. She ended it with, "I would ask how you're doing, but I'm the one with cancer. I no longer care how you people are." Of course, this was a joke. She always cared. She was one of the most caring people I've ever known. Becca will be missed by so many people. This is evidenced by everyone who has commented on our Facebook wall or written on her memorial website, and by all of you here. She's one of the few people I've known who was able to have a lot of close friends. She had a way of deeply touching everyone she met, and all who knew her are better for it. I hope we remember Becca the way I feel she would want to be remembered. Silly, remarkably intelligent, and smiling, and with amazing hair.
You notice they're helping me because they think I'll fall down. Terrible. I've known Rebecca since she was born. There are parents who can always complain about their children. I never was able to complain about mine. First of all, they'd interrupt me. Secondly, three of them were wonderful. But she had, I don't think she thought I was her mother at the beginning. She thought Harriet was her mother. I would hear her saying to Harriet in the other room, "Ma said, should I?" And Harriet would say, "It's okay, you can do it." There was that kind of thing always going on. Something came to mind as Carol was speaking before. There was a strike going on, I think it was at NBC, and she had friends working there. She was at ABC. So on her day off, she would go to NBC to carry the picket sign with her friends that were picketing. Along one day came Richard Nixon. He got out of his state car, and he walked up and he said to her, "You know, I know there's a strike going on, and I feel badly, but they've asked me to speak at the station, and it's a long-term commitment. I therefore am going in to speak. Is there anything I can do for you?" And she said, "Yes, Mr. President, I would like you to sign my picket sign." She brought it home, and she said to me, "Can you have it framed?" So we had a framed picket sign signed by Richard Nixon. She was remarkable, but I sincerely hope that when you think of her, it will be with smiles, and that you will remember her as a wonderful, loving, devoted friend, passionate in her love of people. And please, don't cry. Just spend time smiling. Thank you. You notice they don't trust me. They said to her immediately, "If you feel like coming into work, come. If you don't, stay home. If you want to work at home, work. If you don't feel like doing anything, don't." And when she said, "You're so kind to me," their answer to her was, "You came to us before we were really set up. You took a chance with us. We owe you, and we love you."
She was a woman who loved and was loved, a woman who touched and was touched. And I just thank all who shared their love with us today for such wonderful, loving memories of Rebecca. We do not have complete control over our lives. I guess that's a fundamental teaching of our faith. And all we can do is to give our heart and our effort and our soul and our mind. And Rebecca did that. And in that way, she gave great honor to her family and to her people, to all of us, all who loved to know her, and to the work that she cared about so much. So may her memory always be a blessing. Amen. I ask everyone now to rise for El Malei Rachamim, the memorial prayer.
El Malei Rachamim, shochein bamromim, hamse menucha nechona, tachat kanfei hashechina, b'malot kedoshim utorim, kezahar harakia mazhirim, et nishmat Rivka bat Golda v'Nachum, shehalcha la'olama, began Eden tehei menuchata. Anna bal harachamim, hasireha besetek nefecha, leolamim. Utzro, yitzro, hachayim et nishmata. Adonai hu nachalata, v'tanuach b'shalom, amishkava, v'nomar Amen.
O God, exalted and full of compassion, grant perfect peace in your sheltering presence among the holy and pure, to the soul of Rebecca May Lipkin, Rivka bat Golda v'Nachum, who has gone to her eternal home. Master of mercy, we beseech you, remember all the worthy and righteous deeds that Rebecca performed in the land of the living. May her soul be bound up in the bond of life. The Lord is her portion. May she rest in peace. And let us say, Amen. Please be seated. Following the service, which will end in just a few moments, the family invites everyone to reception, which will be held in the K Hall, which is just down our main stairway as you go out to the right. It's down a stairway. We do have an elevator for those who need assistance, which is just next to the entrance to the elevator is just next to the stairway. The family will be sitting Shiva at the home of Harriet Lipkin and Craig Sauter, and they live at 3623 Everett Street Northwest here in the district, and they'll be sitting tomorrow and Tuesday from 5:30 to 8:30 p.m., and there will be a minyan, a prayer service at the home at 6 p.m., both on Monday and Tuesday evenings. I ask now the family to rise for Mourner's Kaddish. If others would like to rise as well, I invite you to do so as well. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah v'yalma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute v'chayechon yomechon chayei d'chol beit Yisrael b'agala v'zman kari v'imru amen. Yahei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam u'me'omaya Yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipuar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh Yitadar v'yitalev yitalal, Shemeda Kudesha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushpachata v'nechamata, Damiran v'alma v'imru amen. Yahei shlama rabba min shemaya, V'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May God, who makes peace upon high, bring peace to this family, to all mourners, to our people, and to this very troubled world. And let us all say, Amen. I ask now, I think that it would be best that the family could go out first so that they could receive everyone else downstairs.